Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Movie Reviews, and this is the 12th and final episode of the second series of my review video series. And today I'm looking at Midnight Express from 1978. This is a very interesting film. This is when I first watched, I always thought I need to review this film at some time, which I never done actually. I never put it in the second. Well, when I did the Facebook videos, I never actually made a video about it actually. So I forgot about it, but now it's finally here. So Midnight Express. This is based on true events. This is actually sort of a biopic film to do with I can't remember the guy. It's Billy something. A guy named called Billy, who gets wrongly accused of harboring drugs in Turkey, and then is sent to life in a Turkish prison. And in doing so, he faces tortures, and the sort of impending doom that faces him going mad in a isolated claustrophobic type environment, which he does. And in doing so, he needs to escape out of this prison to save his own life. Save his own life, save his own sanity. So one thing I never mentioned that this is an Alan Parker film. Now, Alan Parker is one of my favourite directors of all time. This is quite surprisingly. He's British, and if you look at his the films that he's done, it is really quite interesting stuff that he's done. And obviously this comes after Bugsy Malone, which is his first proper film that came out in '76. And so, jumping from like a light-hearted, kid-friendly film full of gangsters and parodying gangster movies, but with kids in, which is funny, to very serious, sort of terrifying biopic prison life, if you know what I mean, is quite interesting. I mean, he switches gears most of the time. You're like, if you do look at them, like you've got like stuff like The Wall, you've got Pink Floyd's The Wall, you've got Fame, you've got The Life of David Gale, you've got Evita, Angela's Ashes. Is it's like a weird turning point. It's like he switches gears most of the time anyway. So this comes from the book that Billy wrote in the early mid-70s, into I think about 74 it came out. And obviously it details what he's been through, what he's been going through in this prison, how he got there, how he's meeting these inmates, how he's reacted, how he's trying to survive. Really, it's all to his survival in this prison, his own experiences, and I think it's quite good. Obviously, the actor Brad Davis, who plays him, does a very fantastic job. He does. He is a very good actor in this movie. He's the highlight of the movie itself. You've also got the late Sir John Hurt in this film playing Max, a convicted. Well, I don't know what he was in for, really. Can't remember what, but he was in the film. He has his cat. He does, which he always, obviously, is his own pet, really, in the prison. And obviously, once the cat gets killed, he gets he gets his own back on some of the prisoners. Obviously, he gets transferred to a different ward, into a different part of the prison, which is the sort of like mental ward, if you know what I mean. And obviously, he goes mad. Very much. And the other prisoner, I can't remember his name, who actually gives Billy the idea to escape. So I think he sort of gets. I think he gets killed in the film. I can't remember really. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I think the actor who plays him actually does a very good job as well. So obviously, this is sort of the yin yang or pseudo follow up to Rob Roy. If you know, well, when I say pseudo follow up to Rob Roy, I mean it is the second film I saw in Southport. So after Rob Roy, this came on, and I wanted to see it. Now, by then, I had Midnight Express on DVD. I bought it because it's an Alan Parker film, and I thought it'd be quite interesting, but I never seen it then until I watched it in a caravan in freezing cold Southport. And obviously, watching it, I thought it was very good. The way it's filmed, the way it is acted out, the acting is spot on. And the way they depict the Turkish prison in Istanbul, very good. Very nice. Indeed, well, not very nice, sort of, but very, very grimy, gritty, if you know what I mean. And obviously, what you tend to see in different countries, they have different ways of how to handle prisoners. Like you put them all together, sit and obviously turn away if there's a bit of bloodbath going on. They do torture kids in this movie. There is a scene in which there's a line of children up there, and they're getting the sole of the feet whacked with a wooden truncheon. Very much, and that is very. When you see that, it's very painful. Jeez. They do to children anyway, and they do get sent to prison if they do something wrong. That's how countries work. So anyway, that is how Turkish prisons do work sometimes, if you know what I mean. If I'm right, if I'm wrong, please comment below if you're interested. The music, of course, is done by Giorgio Moroder. Giorgio Moroder, a very talented, sort of a pioneer in electronic music a little bit much. He obviously perfected a bit of a disco technique with his music with Donna Summer, I Feel Love. And obviously coming to board with this, it has that sort of electronic disco sound to it, which is quite good. And obviously, it all suits the movie very well. You've also got the nice theme. And a guy called, his name is Chris Smith, is that right or not? It depends. I can't remember the name of the guy who sings the theme or the end theme to the movie itself. And yes, I can't remember. But a bit of a nice theme. So what type of favourite scenes do I think of this? Do I like in this film? One of my favourite scenes, one of them I can think of now, is this scene when he meets his girlfriend Susan, where Billy meets Susan in the sort of visiting area. At this point he's gone very mad, and obviously he's very detained, low energized. He's sort of looking dead in the prison. So anyway, in doing so, Susan rubs one of her breasts onto the glass to keep Billy sort of to say that she wants him. They want each other. And obviously said, you need to get out of this place. You'll go, otherwise you'll die. You will be in hell for the rest of your life. And obviously that's all sparked his mind of leaving to escape. The fight scene between one of the main security guards is quite good. A bit similar to what I've noticed, similar to Cyborg in 1989. There's a little similar thing with that. Obviously, two guys fighting sort of like claustrophobic type of room, and there's sharp objects around there. I thought it looks quite similar, obviously, but it worked and paid off very nicely, and yeah, and also some of the courtroom scenes are actually quite good, and when obviously some people might have been shocked, like it was surprised that Billy has a life sentence now. That was quite surprising. Like he was supposed to be there for about 5 years, and obviously, no, you have a life sentence, then you can stay there forever. Like, oh, really? Oh, so yeah, quite important scene there, obviously. What else? So obviously, with it being an Alan Parker film, I do think I rate this highly. It is a very important film of the 70s. It is a nice novel adaptation of a biopic of some guy who's been in prison for a lot of years and escaped, finally. And obviously, it is like more interesting. It's visually interesting. It's like an important film. It is an important film of the 70s. There's another film that actually came out in the 70s, which I will discuss. Maybe another series or not. It depends when I'll see it. But anyway, that is my nice sort of review of Midnight Express from 1978. And I'm Mike, and this is the last episode of the second season, or second series, of movie reviews. And I will come back with a third series. However, I think I will do an update video once this is out, and once I have a bit of time, I will do an update video of what is going to happen on this channel soon. And I'll see you for that in a day or two.